everyone, it's Michael from Chess Lifestyle, and today I wanted to share with you an old story from my chess past. So back in the day when I was like a young junior of like maybe 11, 12 years old, there weren't like a lot of junior chess opportunities unless you wanted to like travel really far away, and the internet probably not even a thing back then. So yeah, I had to get my chess experience some way, and what my parents signed me up to was this adult local league called the Thanet League. And this was basically a bunch of clubs in the area of Thanet, which is where I grew up, that would play against each other in various competitions, and 95% of the players were adults. Like, it was me and my sister were like the only kids in the whole league. And the number of ridiculous, dramatic stories that have like stemmed from this league, I can't even explain to you how many there were. But all I wanted to do today was just share with you one of these stories. I feel like these stories need to live on. So for the purpose of this video, I'm not actually going to mention like the real names of the clubs or the real names of the players. But yeah, imagine that my club is Fridge, and my club was playing a rival club called Stargate in an average grade competition, and I think it was either semi-final or final, so a pretty serious match. And you knew there were going to be fireworks before this fixture even happened. But when you looked at the team lists, on our board one we had Giovanni, and their board one they had Rupert. And these two players were like ticking time bombs in the league in terms of like chess drama. There's always going to be something like they'll complain about, or something the opponent will complain about them for doing something like ridiculous. So the fact that these two players were playing each other, and I think they'd also had like beef before, like you knew something was going to go down. So imagine this, the clock strikes 7:30, the round begins, and the whole didn't mean to say the name of the club. The whole Fridge team were there, and the boards 2, 3, and 4 of Stargate were also there. So Giovanni makes his first move. He plays the Ratty. He actually taught me the Ratty, like I'm very close to him. He started out with knight f3, started black's clock, he was white, and waited around. I think after around 10 minutes or so, he went out to have a smoke because his opponent still hadn't arrived. Now, at this point, after going out for a smoke and coming back in, his opponent, Rupert, was now sitting at the board. But Rupert had not made his move, and instead was exclaiming furiously that his clock, Rupert's clock, was unfairly pressed because Giovanni hadn't made his first move. So, on the board, no moves had been made. And Giovanni was up in arms. He was saying, no, I played this knight move and I pressed the clock. You must have moved my piece back. And of course Rupert was like, absolutely not, no way. Now, I don't actually recall what they did, whether they moved the time back. This was an hour and a half in 36 moves plus 15 minutes on move 36. So I don't know if they reset the clocks or they just continued with Rupert with a time deficit, being late to the match. But anyway, the match continued, and Rupert is a very fast player, typically. Giovanni was pretty shaken up by all of this and played a pretty poor game. But midway through the game, Giovanni realizes that it doesn't seem right. He's getting really low on time, and Giovanni's like, this can't be right, I'm making the moves at like my normal rate. Why am I suddenly so low on time? And he actually notices that when he presses the clock, now, bearing in mind, this is actually a digital clock, and I think at this point, clubs were just slowly transitioning to using digital clocks from analog clocks, but basically, Giovanni claimed that when he pressed the clock, the time would tick down on his time still. And they stopped the game, and both team captains checked the clock, and they pressed it both sides, and it seemed to be working fine. So they continued the game, and in the end, there was a massive time scramble, and said the name again. Rupert won on time with 3 seconds on his clock. Now, Giovanni was furious at this because he was convinced that the clock was faulty. And after the game, they checked the clock, and it showed that when the clock was on Rupert's time, the time was ticking down on Giovanni's clock. And he was pointing at it, he was like, this is ridiculous. And so Giovanni either wanted the game to be determined a draw, or they would have a rematch. And Rupert was like, nope, I won on time, I had 3 seconds on my clock, that's tough. So at this point, Giovanni was definitely going to contest the result of the match with the General League Committee. And the drama doesn't end here because Giovanni then writes a very angry email to our club manager, overall club captain, who wasn't at the match. But when he sent the email to the captain, he actually sent it to the entire league. So he sent this angry attack on Rupert to the entire league, and everyone saw it, and Rupert was furious and said Giovanni should get banned for the language he was using, and it was a complete mess. And I think the final verdict was that the result stood, Giovanni lost, and yeah, Rupert got away with the win, and because of that, both Stargate and Fridge, I think they drew 2-2. So yeah, that was crazy. I feel really nostalgic about this league, and recently one of the key members of the league said that the league might discontinue after all of this coronavirus stuff because clubs won't have the budget to reopen. And it's really sad because there are honestly so many great memories from this league, and yeah, I hope I can share more stories in future about chaotic instances between chess players. So if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment if you think there should have been a rematch or if the draw should have been settled upon. And yeah, do subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more videos of all kinds. Alright, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.